The galaxy was in chaos. For decades, humanity had been losing ground to an unstoppable force, the Krylos. These aliens were not just invaders. They were conquerors who moved like shadows across the stars, wiping out civilizations with terrifying efficiency. Their ships were sleek and menacing, glowing faintly as if alive, their weapons capable of obliterating entire planets without warning. No one could confront them, or so it seemed. Earth's leaders sat in dimly lit war rooms, staring at holographic maps that showed how much territory had already fallen. Commander Laura Hayes leaned forward, her sharp eyes scanning the projections. She wasn't old enough to remember a time before the Krylos, but she had grown up hearing stories of Earth's golden age, when humans explored space freely, unafraid of what lay beyond. Now, fear ruled every decision. Admiral John Carter stood nearby, his arms crossed tightly over his chest. His grizzled face betrayed years of frustration and guilt for failing to protect humanity. "We can't keep running," Laura said finally, breaking the heavy silence. Her voice carried determination, despite the hopelessness swirling around her. "If we lose another colony, there won't be anything left." John sighed deeply, rubbing his temples. "What do you suggest?" "Our fleets are shattered. Every attempt to fight back ends in disaster." Laura hesitated, then pointed to a blinking dot on the edge of the map. It was small, almost insignificant compared to the vastness of the galaxy. But it represented something extraordinary, a signal received earlier that day. A Terran battleship fought lost centuries ago had reappeared near the outer rim. The *US Titan*. Its reappearance sparked both excitement and skepticism. Could this ancient relic really make a difference? Elsewhere, aboard the *Titan*, Captain Daniel Reeves stared out of a cracked viewport at the endless expanse of stars. His crew, awakened from cryogenic stasis after centuries of sleep, looked equally bewildered by the state of the universe. They had left Earth during a time of exploration and optimism, only to return to a galaxy consumed by war. Daniel's heart ached as he listened to reports of humanity's plight. He clenched his fists, vowing silently that his ship and his people would not stand idle while the Krylos destroyed everything. Back on Earth, preparations began to bring the *Titan* into action. Engineers scrambled to repair its aging systems, while military strategists debated whether risking such a valuable asset was worth it. Some argued that sending the *Titan* into battle would be suicide. Others believed it might be humanity's last chance. Laura Hayes found herself caught between these opposing views, knowing full well that whatever choice she made would define her legacy, and possibly the fate of humanity itself. As days passed, rumors spread among Earth's remaining colonies about the legendary ship coming out of retirement. People whispered about the advanced weapons blueprints stored within its databanks, relics of a bygone era when humanity dreamed big. If those designs could be implemented, they might give Earth a fighting chance against the Krylos. Yet doubts lingered. Was the *Titan* truly ready for combat, or was it nothing more than a desperate gamble? In the quiet moments, Laura often thought about the sacrifices required to even attempt such a mission. Lives would undoubtedly be lost, perhaps many. Still, she reminded herself why they fought, not just to survive, but to reclaim the freedom stolen from them. With resolve hardening in her chest, she turned toward the star map once more. Somewhere out there, the *Titan* awaited orders. And soon, it would enter the battlefield, carrying the hopes of billions along with it. The signal from the *US Titan* had been faint at first, almost like a whisper lost in the vastness of space. But as engineers worked tirelessly to boost its transmission, the message became clearer. Captain Daniel Reeves's voice crackled through the static, calm but tinged with urgency. "This is Captain Daniel Reeves of the *US Titan*. We are operational and ready to assist." Those words sent shockwaves through Earth's command center. The reappearance of the long-lost battleship felt like a miracle, or perhaps a cruel joke played by fate. Commander Laura Hayes listened intently as Daniel explained their situation. The crew of the Titan had survived thanks to cryogenic stasis pods, which kept them frozen in time for centuries. When they finally woke up, they discovered that their ship was drifting aimlessly on the edge of human-controlled space. Their navigation systems were outdated, and much of their technology had fallen into disrepair. Yet despite these challenges, the Titan still carried something invaluable: experimental weapon blueprints designed just before its ill-fated expedition all those years ago. These plans, if implemented, could change the course of the war against the Krylos. Admiral John Carter paced the room, his boots clicking against the metal floor. "It's a gamble," he muttered, shaking his head. "That ship hasn't seen combat in centuries. Its systems are relics." Laura shot him a sharp look. "We don't have a choice," she said firmly. "If those blueprints work, we might finally have a way to hurt the Krylos. Do you want to sit here and do nothing while they destroy us?" John didn't respond immediately. Instead, he glanced at the holographic display showing the battered state of humanity's remaining fleets. He knew Laura was right. They couldn't afford to ignore even the slimmest chance of turning the tide. With a reluctant nod, he gave the order to prepare the Titan for battle. Meanwhile, aboard the Titan Daniel Reeves gathered his crew in the ship's main chamber. The room was dimly lit, its walls lined with panels covered in dust and grime. Most of the crew looked disoriented, struggling to adjust to the reality of a galaxy vastly different from the one they had left behind. Some whispered nervously about the Krylos, creatures they had never encountered, but whose reputation preceded them. "We've been given a mission," Daniel began, his voice steady and commanding. "Earth needs us. Humanity needs us. This ship may be old, but it's not broken. And neither are we." His words stirred something in the crew. Lieutenant Ryan Mitchell, a young pilot who had risen through the ranks quickly, stepped forward. "Sir, I'll do whatever it takes," he said, determination blazing in his eyes. Ryan had always dreamed of making a difference, and now he saw an opportunity to prove himself. Dr. Megan Scott, the ship's lead scientist, nodded in agreement. She had spent years studying alien technology, though none as advanced as what the Krylos possessed. "Those blueprints are our best shot," she added, "but implementing them won't be easy. We'll need every hand on deck." As the crew dispersed to begin repairs, Daniel allowed himself a moment of reflection. Staring out at the stars, he thought about the weight of responsibility resting on his shoulders. The Titan wasn't just a ship. It was a symbol of hope, however fragile. If they failed, humanity's last flicker of resistance would die with them. Back on Earth, Laura Hayes assembled a team to join the Titan's crew. She chose carefully, selecting individuals she believed could handle the pressure of such a critical mission. Among them was Sergeant Kyle Brooks, a hardened soldier with years of experience fighting the Krylos. His face bore scars, both physical and emotional, but his loyalty to humanity remained unshaken. When the team boarded the Titan, they were greeted by a mix of awe and apprehension. The ship was massive, its corridors echoing with the hum of ancient machinery. It was clear that bringing it back to full functionality would require more than technical skill. It would demand sheer willpower. As preparations continued, Laura couldn't shake the feeling that this mission was more than just a desperate attempt to fight back. It was a test of humanity's resilience, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and ingenuity could light the way forward. For better or worse, the Titan was ready to enter the battlefield. And so were its crew. The US Titan was far from ready for battle, but time was a luxury humanity no longer had. Commander Laura Hayes stood on the ship's bridge, her eyes scanning the outdated control panels and flickering monitors. The air smelled faintly of oil and metal, a reminder of how ancient this vessel truly was. Engineers scurried around, their tools clinking as they worked to patch up critical systems. Despite the chaos, there was a sense of purpose in the room, a shared understanding that failure wasn't an option. Laura turned her attention to Captain Daniel Reeves, who was deep in conversation with Dr. Megan Scott. Megan held a datapad, pointing out sections of the experimental weapon blueprints stored in the Titan archives. "These designs are groundbreaking," she explained, her voice tinged with both excitement and concern. "But adapting them to modern technology will take time and precision." Daniel nodded, his expression grim. "Time is something we don't have," he replied. "We'll make it work, no matter what." Nearby, Lieutenant Ryan Mitchell leaned over a console, running diagnostics on the ship's engines. He was young, brash, and eager to prove himself, but even he couldn't hide the uncertainty in his eyes. The Titan propulsion system was barely functional, and every test run ended with sparks flying from overloaded circuits. Still, Ryan refused to give up. "I didn't sign up for easy," he muttered under his breath, tightening a loose bolt with more force than necessary. Sergeant Kyle Brooks, on the other hand, moved silently through the corridors, inspecting the ship's defenses. A veteran of countless battles against the Krylos, Kyle knew better than anyone how deadly their enemies were. His sharp gaze took in every detail: the rusted bulkheads, the exposed wiring, the makeshift repairs holding the ship together. It wasn't much, but it would have to do. As he passed by a group of engineers struggling to fix a malfunctioning turret, he stopped to offer guidance. "Focus on stability first," he said gruffly. "If these guns can't hold steady, they're useless." Back on the bridge, tensions began to rise. The crew of the Titan was a mix of old and new, seasoned veterans like Kyle alongside fresh recruits like Ryan. Not everyone got along. When Ryan suggested bypassing standard protocols to speed up repairs, Kyle shot him a glare. "Cutting corners gets people killed," he snapped. "Stick to the plan." Ryan bristled at the rebuke, but bit back his retort. He knew Kyle was right, even if he didn't like it. Still, the friction between them was palpable, and Laura noticed. She pulled Ryan aside later, her tone firm, but not unkind. "I need you focused," she told him. "We're all counting on each other. Personal pride doesn't win battles." As days turned into nights, progress on the Titan remained slow but steady. The crew worked tirelessly, fueled by adrenaline and sheer determination. Laura often found herself wandering the ship, checking in on different teams and offering encouragement where needed. She stopped by the mess hall one evening to find Megan poring over schematics while eating a cold meal. "You should rest," Laura said gently. Megan shook her head. "Not until I'm sure these weapons will work," she replied. "This might be our only chance." Laura understood the weight of responsibility pressing down on everyone. Each decision felt monumental, each action carrying the potential to tip the scales of survival or doom. Yet amidst the stress, there were moments of camaraderie. Late at night, laughter occasionally echoed through the halls as crew members shared stories or played cards to unwind. These small acts of connection reminded them that they weren't just soldiers. They were human beings fighting for something greater than themselves. Finally, after weeks of relentless effort, the Titan was deemed ready for its mission. Its hull still bore the scars of centuries past, and its systems groaned under the strain of modern demands. But it floated in space once more, a relic reborn for a desperate cause. As the ship prepared to depart Earth, Laura stood on the observation deck, staring out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Krylos waited. And soon, the Titan would face them head-on. The US Titan slipped silently into enemy territory, its engines running at minimal power to avoid detection. The crew moved with quiet urgency, their footsteps muffled against the cold metal floors. Commander Laura Hayes stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the main viewport as the ship drifted past a cluster of Krylos vessels. These alien ships loomed ominously in the distance, their sleek, organic shapes glowing faintly like living organisms. It was both mesmerizing and terrifying. Lieutenant Ryan Mitchell sat at the helm, his hand steady on the controls. Navigating through enemy space required precision and nerves of steel, qualities Ryan had in abundance. Still, sweat trickled down his forehead as he guided the Titan along a carefully plotted course designed by Dr. Megan Scott. Megan's plan relied heavily on stealth, using the ship's outdated systems to mimic background radiation and blend into the void of space. So far, it seemed to be working. None of the Krylos ships appeared to notice them. Sergeant Kyle Brooks paced the corridors below, checking in with the ground teams stationed near the weapon turrets. Though the Titan aimed to remain unseen, everyone knew that could change in an instant. "Stay sharp," Kyle reminded the soldiers, his voice low but firm. "If they spot us, we'll need to act fast." The troops nodded, their faces tense but resolute. They had trained for this moment, and now it was here. Dr. Megan Scott remained in the engineering bay, monitoring the ship's systems closely. Her data pad displayed streams of information, tracking everything from energy signatures to heat emissions. Every few minutes, she adjusted the cloaking algorithms, ensuring the Titan stayed hidden. Despite her calm demeanor, Megan couldn't shake the feeling of dread gnawing at her stomach. One wrong move, one malfunction, and they'd be exposed. As the hours dragged on, the crew gathered critical intelligence about the Krylos fleet. Their sensors picked up communications between the alien ships, though the language was incomprehensible. What they did understand, however, was alarming. The Krylos were preparing for a large-scale assault on a nearby human colony, a massacre waiting to happen. Laura clenched her fists tightly, her jaw set in determination. They couldn't let that happen. "We need to get closer," Laura said finally, turning to Daniel Reeves. "If we can gather more intel on their command structure, we might find a weakness." Daniel hesitated. Getting closer meant taking greater risks. But he trusted Laura's judgment and nodded reluctantly. "All right," he said. "But if things go south, we bail. No heroics." Ryan adjusted the ship's trajectory, bringing them closer to the heart of the Krylos formation. As they approached, the crew noticed something massive looming ahead. An orbital fortress unlike anything they'd ever seen. Its surface pulsed with light, as if alive, and its sheer size dwarfed even the largest Krylos ships. This, Megan realized, was the Voidspire*. The fortress's purpose became clear when scans revealed it housed a devastating weapon capable of annihilating entire planets. "It's worse than we thought," Megan whispered, her voice trembling as she shared the findings with Laura. "That thing could wipe out multiple colonies in seconds." Laura felt a chill run down her spine. Destroying the Voidspire* wasn't just important, it was essential. But how? The fortress was surrounded by dozens of Krylos ships, each one deadly enough to crush the Titan without breaking a sweat. She turned to look at the crew, seeing the same mix of fear and resolve reflected in their eyes. They had come too far to turn back now. For the first time since entering enemy territory, the Titan's presence was detected. A patrol ship broke formation, heading straight toward them. Alarms blared across the bridge as Ryan scrambled to evade. "They're scanning us," he shouted, his fingers flying over the controls. "Keep calm," Laura ordered, her voice cutting through the tension. "We knew this might happen. Stick to the plan." Below deck, Kyle rallied the soldiers, readying the ship's defenses. Megan frantically recalibrated the cloaking system, buying them precious seconds. Slowly, the Krylos ship passed by, its scanners finding nothing but empty space where the Titan should have been. When the immediate danger passed, the crew exhaled collectively. They had survived. For now. But Laura knew this close call was a warning. The Krylos weren't invincible, but they were dangerous, and the Titan, for all its flaws, carried humanity's last hope. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. Tensions aboard the U.S. Titan were running high. The close encounter with the Krylos patrol ship had left everyone on edge. Though they had escaped detection, the incident served as a stark reminder of how fragile their mission was. Every decision mattered, every action carried weight, and trust among the crew became more important than ever. But trust, it seemed, was in short supply. Engineer Alex Hart found himself at the center of growing suspicion. A quiet man with a knack for fixing things, Alex had once worked for a corporate entity accused of collaborating with the Krylos. Though he had joined the Titan crew decades ago, his past loomed over him like a shadow. When critical systems began malfunctioning shortly after the patrol ship incident, whispers spread quickly through the corridors. Some believed Alex might be sabotaging the ship, deliberately undermining their efforts. Commander Laura Hayes heard the rumors but refused to jump to conclusions. She called Alex to the bridge for a private conversation. "I need to know if there's anything you're not telling me," she said, her tone calm but firm. "If something's wrong, now is the time to speak up." Alex shook his head, his expression earnest. "I didn't do anything," he insisted. "You have to believe me. I'm here because I want to help, just like everyone else." Laura studied him carefully before nodding. "All right, but if anything else happens, we'll need answers fast." Despite her reassurances, doubts lingered among the crew. Lieutenant Ryan Mitchell voiced his concerns openly during a meeting. "We can't afford mistakes right now," he argued, glancing pointedly at Alex. "If someone's working against us, we need to deal with it." Sergeant Kyle Brooks stepped in, his voice cutting through the tension. "Accusing people won't solve our problems," he growled. "What we need is focus. If Alex says he's clean, then we move forward. End of discussion." The argument ended there, but the unease remained. Megan Scott, who had been quietly observing the exchange, decided to take matters into her own hands. She spent hours reviewing system logs, searching for evidence that might clear Alex or confirm the worst. What she found surprised her. The malfunctions weren't caused by sabotage, but by compatibility issues between the Titan ancient systems and the experimental upgrades they had installed. It was an honest mistake, not betrayal. Megan shared her findings with Laura later that evening. "It's not Alex," she said firmly. "The problem lies in the integration process. We pushed too hard, too fast." Relieved but frustrated, Laura called another meeting to address the issue. "This stops now," she declared, addressing the entire crew. "We've wasted enough time pointing fingers when we should have been solving problems. Alex isn't the enemy. The Krylos are. Let's fix what's broken and keep moving forward." Her words struck a chord. Slowly, the atmosphere aboard the Titan began to shift. People returned to their tasks with renewed determination, putting aside their suspicions for the sake of the mission. Even Ryan apologized to Alex, though awkwardly, offering a handshake as a gesture of goodwill. Alex accepted it without hesitation, grateful for the chance to prove himself. Meanwhile, preparations continued for the next phase of their operation. Destroying the Voidspire required precise timing and coordination. Megan worked tirelessly to refine the experimental weapon designs, while Kyle drilled the soldiers on emergency protocols. Daniel Reeves oversaw repairs to the ship's hull, ensuring it could withstand whatever lay ahead. As the Titan drifted closer to the Voidspire Laura stood on the observation deck, staring out at the massive fortress. Its pulsating lights cast eerie shadows across her face. She thought about the sacrifices already made and those yet to come. This mission wouldn't be easy, and not everyone would make it back. But failure wasn't an option, not when billions of lives depended on them. For now, the crew was united, their differences set aside in pursuit of a common goal. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The Titan carried humanity's last hope. And no matter what happened next, they would face it together. The *US Titan asterisk had been lurking in enemy territory for days, gathering intelligence and inching closer to the Voidspire asterisk. But patience was wearing thin. The crew knew that simply observing the Krylos wouldn't win the war. They needed to act. When a small Krylos patrol ship strayed too far from the main fleet, Laura Hayes saw an opportunity. It wasn't the fortress itself, but taking out even one enemy vessel could boost morale and test their capabilities. "Let's hit them," Laura said firmly during a strategy meeting on the bridge. "We've waited long enough." Captain Daniel Reeves hesitated. "It's risky. If we fail, they'll know we're here." "We can't keep hiding forever," Ryan Mitchell chimed in, his voice sharp with frustration. "If we don't fight now, when will we?" Daniel exchanged a glance with Laura before nodding reluctantly. "All right. But this has to be quick and clean. No mistakes." The plan was simple. Use the Titan outdated weapon systems to disable the patrol ship's engines, then finish it off before reinforcements arrived. Megan Scott worked feverishly to optimize the targeting algorithms, while Kyle Brooks prepared the ground teams for any unexpected breaches. Everyone understood what was at stake. A single misstep could spell disaster. As the Titan moved into position, tension crackled through the air. Ryan took his place at the helm, his hand steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. On the main viewport, the patrol ship grew larger, its sleek, organic design glowing faintly against the blackness of space. "Weapons charge," Megan announced, her voice tight but controlled. "Ready on your mark." "Fire," Laura ordered, her tone calm but decisive. The Titan unleashed a barrage of missiles, their trails lighting up the darkness. The first wave struck true, crippling the patrol ship's propulsion system. Alarms blared across the alien vessel as it drifted helplessly. Ryan maneuvered the Titan closer, dodging retaliatory fire with skillful precision. "They're trying to call for backup," Megan shouted, monitoring the communications feed. "Not if we stop them first," Kyle growled, leading a team to jam the signal. His soldiers worked quickly, rerouting power to disrupt the patrol ship's transmission. Sparks flew as circuits overloaded, but the interference held. With the enemy cut off, the Titan launched a second assault. This time, the patrol ship erupted in a fiery explosion, debris scattering across the void. Cheers broke out on the bridge, but they were short-lived. The victory came at a cost. The Titan sustained heavy damage during the skirmish. Panels sparked, systems flickered, and smoke filled the corridors. Laura surveyed the damage, her expression grim. "Damage report," she demanded. Megan scanned her data pad, her face pale. "We lost 2 turrets and part of the starboard hull. Engine efficiency is down by 30%. "And casualties?" Laura asked, dreading the answer. Kyle stepped forward, his voice low. 3 injured, none fatal. We got lucky." Despite the losses, the crew couldn't ignore the significance of what they'd achieved. For the first time in years, humanity had struck back against the Krylos, and won. The victory was small, but it proved something crucial. The invaders weren't invincible. Later, as the crew worked to repair the Titan Megan made a startling discovery. Fragments of the destroyed patrol ship had embedded themselves in the hull, bringing pieces of its biomechanical structure with them. She examined the alien material closely, her brow furrowed in concentration. "This changes everything," she murmured to Laura. "Their ships aren't just machines. They're alive, or at least partially organic." Laura's eyes widened. "Are you saying, if we can figure out how to target their biological components, we might have a way to cripple their entire fleet?" Megan explained. "But it'll take time to study this properly." Time was something they didn't have much of. Still, the revelation gave the crew renewed hope. They had faced the Krylos and survived. More importantly, they had learned something valuable about their enemy, something that could turn the tide of the war. As repairs continued, Laura walked among the crew, offering words of encouragement. "Today, we showed them we're still here," she said, her voice carrying strength and resolve. "And tomorrow, we'll show them we're not going anywhere." The Titan limped onward, battered but unbroken. Its journey was far from over, but for the first time in a long time, the future felt less hopeless. The discovery of the Krylos ship's organic nature sparked a flurry of activity aboard the US Titan *. Dr. Megan Scott worked tirelessly in the lab, examining the alien fragments embedded in the ship's hull. Her findings confirmed what she had suspected. The Krylos vessels weren't purely mechanical. They were grown, not built. This revelation opened up new possibilities for attacking their enemies. If they could target the biological components, they might disable entire fleets without relying solely on brute force. Megan shared her insights with Laura Hayes and Daniel Reeves during a late-night meeting on the bridge. "Their ships are alive, in a way," Megan explained, pointing to microscopic images on her datapad. "If we adapt our weapons to disrupt their organic systems, we can cripple them." Laura leaned forward, her eyes narrowing as she processed the information. "Can we do it in time?" she asked. "We're running out of options." "It's risky," Megan admitted, "but it's possible. We'll need to modify the experimental weapon designs to focus on biological targets." Daniel nodded, his expression grim. "Then that's what we'll do. Get to work." As Megan returned to the lab, Laura turned her attention to the larger challenge: destroying the Voidspire *. The massive fortress loomed ahead, its pulsating glow a constant reminder of the threat it posed. They couldn't approach it directly, not after the damage sustained in the skirmish with the patrol ship. A new plan was needed, one that required sacrifice. Laura called a meeting with the senior crew members. "We can't take down the Voidspire * without getting close," she began, pacing slowly. "And to get close, we'll need a distraction, a big one." Ryan Mitchell frowned. "What kind of distraction?" "The kind that gives us enough time to upload the weapon codes into the fortress's core," Laura replied. "But it means someone has to stay behind and hold off the Krylos fleet." Silence fell over the room as the weight of her words sank in. Everyone understood what staying behind meant. It wasn't just a delay tactic. It was a suicide mission. Kyle Brooks spoke first, his voice steady but heavy. "I'll do it," he said. "My team can handle the ground assault while you focus on the fortress." "No," Daniel interrupted firmly. "This is my ship, my responsibility. If anyone stays behind, it's me." Laura shook her head. "It can't be either of you. The crew needs leadership to pull this off. That leaves." She paused, glancing at Ryan. Ryan straightened, his jaw tightening. "You want me to lead the distraction?" "It's your call," Laura said quietly. "But if we don't stop the Voidspire *, none of this matters." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Ryan nodded, determination hardening in his eyes. "All right. I'll do it." Preparations began immediately. Megan integrated her findings into the experimental weapon designs, while Kyle trained his soldiers for the final assault. Meanwhile, Ryan plotted a series of kamikaze-like maneuvers designed to draw the Krylos fleet away from the fortress. Every simulation ended the same way, with the Titan * sustaining catastrophic damage. But Ryan refused to dwell on the outcome. On the eve of the mission, Laura found Ryan in the observation deck, staring out at the stars. "You didn't have to volunteer," she said gently. "Yes, I did," Ryan replied, his voice soft but resolute. "Someone has to make sure the rest of you succeed. If this is how I help, then so be it." Laura placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're braver than most people realize." Ryan managed a faint smile. "Just doing my job." The next morning, the crew gathered on the bridge for a final briefing. The air was thick with emotion, but there was no time for hesitation. As the Titan * approached the Voidspire *, everyone knew what lay ahead. Sacrifices would be made, lives would be lost, but humanity's survival depended on their success. When the time came, Ryan took his place at the helm, gripping the controls tightly. "Good luck," he said over the comm, his voice steady despite the storm inside him. "Thank you," Laura replied, her voice cracking slightly. "For everything." With that, Ryan launched the Titan toward the Krylos fleet, its engines roaring as it charged into battle. For the crew watching from a distance, it was a heartbreaking sight, but also a moment of profound courage. The Titan wasn't just a ship anymore. It was a symbol of hope, even in its final moments. The US Titan hurtled toward the Krylos fleet, its battered hull groaning under the strain of maximum thrust. Lieutenant Ryan Mitchell sat at the helm, his hands gripping the controls as alarms blared around him. The ship's engines roared like a wounded beast, propelling it into a deadly dance with the enemy. Ahead, dozens of Krylos vessels turned their attention to the charging battleship, their glowing surfaces pulsating ominously. "This is it," Ryan muttered under his breath, his voice steady despite the chaos erupting on the bridge. He executed a series of sharp maneuvers, weaving the Titan through the enemy formation like a meteor streaking across the sky. Explosions lit up the void as missiles and energy beams tore past, narrowly missing the ship. Every hit that connected shook the Titan violently, sending sparks flying from overloaded circuits. But Ryan didn't falter. He couldn't. His mission was clear: buy time for Laura and the others to reach the Voidspire. Meanwhile, aboard the escape pods launched earlier, Laura Hayes watched the battle unfold from a safe distance. Her heart ached as she saw the Titan take hit after hit, its once proud frame now scared and burning. She clenched her fists tightly, forcing herself to focus on the task ahead. There was no room for grief. Not yet. Inside the Voidspire, Megan Scott worked frantically to upload the experimental weapon codes into the fortress's core. Her fingers flew over the console, sweat dripping down her face as lines of alien text scrolled across the screen. The fortress's defenses fought back, triggering lockdowns and countermeasures designed to prevent intrusions. "Come on," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Just a little more." Behind her, Kyle Brooks led a small team of soldiers in holding off waves of biomechanical drones swarming through the corridors. The creatures were relentless, their razor-sharp limbs slicing through the air as they attacked. Kyle fired his rifle with precision, each shot taking down another drone, but the numbers seemed endless. "Fall back," he shouted to his team, retreating deeper into the fortress. They couldn't afford to be overrun before Megan finished her work. Back outside, Ryan pushed the Titan to its limits. With every passing second, the Krylos fleet grew closer, their weapons tearing chunks out of the aging battleship. Panels exploded, systems failed, and smoke filled the bridge, but Ryan kept going. He knew the end was near, but so long as the Titan burned, it would keep the Krylos distracted. "Target locked," Megan announced suddenly, her voice cutting through the tension. "Uploading final sequence." Laura nodded, her eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing the Voidspire. A countdown appeared on the screen, 10 seconds until detonation. "Hold together just a little longer," she murmured, though she wasn't sure if she was talking to the Titan or herself. On board the dying ship, Ryan felt the controls slip from his grasp as power failed across the board. Flames licked at his uniform, and the acrid smell of burning metal filled his lungs. Still, he smiled faintly, knowing he had done his part. The last thing he saw before darkness claimed him was the sight of the Krylos fleet closing in, a swarm of predators drawn to their prey. Then, everything changed. A brilliant flash erupted from the Voidspire, followed by a deafening roar that rippled through space. The fortress collapsed inward, its massive structure consumed by chain reactions triggered by Megan's weapon. Shockwaves tore through the surrounding area, obliterating nearby Krylos ships and scattering the rest. The battlefield fell silent, save for the faint hum of drifting debris. In the escape pods, Laura stared at the devastation, tears streaming down her face. The Titan was gone, along with Ryan and everyone who had stayed behind. But the Voidspire was destroyed, and the Krylos fleet lay in ruins. Humanity had won. For now. Kyle joined Megan in the observation deck moments later, both exhausted but alive. Together, they gazed at the stars, knowing the fight wasn't over. Somewhere out there, the war continued. But for the first time in years, hope burned brighter than fear. The destruction of the Voidspire sent shockwaves through the galaxy, both literal and figurative. The massive fortress, once a symbol of Krylos dominance, was now nothing more than a cloud of debris drifting silently in space. Its collapse had taken much of the enemy fleet with it, leaving the survivors scattered and disoriented. For the first time in decades, humanity held the upper hand. In the escape pods, Laura Hayes sat quietly, her eyes fixed on the wreckage. The sight filled her with conflicting emotions, relief that they had succeeded, but also grief for those who hadn't made it back. Ryan Mitchell's sacrifice weighed heavily on her mind. His final moments aboard the Titan replayed over and over in her thoughts, the way he had steered the ship fearlessly into battle, knowing full well there was no coming back. She clenched her fists tightly, vowing silently to honor his bravery. Nearby, Megan Scott leaned against the wall of the pod, her face pale and streaked with soot. Her hands still trembled from the effort of uploading the weapon codes into the Voidspire. It worked, she whispered, almost unable to believe it herself. We actually did it. Kyle Brooks nodded grimly, his expression unreadable. He had lost soldiers during the fight inside the fortress, brave men and women who had given everything to hold off the biomechanical drones. Their faces lingered in his mind, haunting him. But he knew their sacrifice hadn't been in vain. Together, they had struck a blow against the Krylos that would echo across the stars. As the escape pods drifted closer to one another, the surviving crew members gathered what remained of their resources. The Titan was gone, its ancient hull reduced to molten fragments floating among the ruins of the battlefield. Without the battleship, returning to Earth would be difficult, but not impossible. They patched together communication signals, reaching out to nearby human colonies for assistance. Help would come eventually, but until then, they would have to endure. Laura took charge, organizing the survivors into teams to ensure everyone stayed focused and functional. Some tended to the injured, while others worked to stabilize the pod's life support systems. Despite the losses, morale began to rise as the reality of their victory sank in. The Krylos weren't invincible anymore. Humanity had proven it could fight back and win. Back on Earth, news of the Voidspire's destruction spread quickly. Command centers erupted in cheers as reports confirmed the scale of the devastation inflicted on the enemy fleet. Admiral John Carter stood in stunned silence, staring at the updated star maps showing the weakened Krylos presence. "They did it," he murmured, shaking his head in disbelief. Against all odds, they actually did it. Plans were already underway to send rescue ships to retrieve the survivors. But even before help arrived, the impact of the mission rippled outward. Colonies under threat from the Krylos found new strength in resistance movements, emboldened by the knowledge that their oppressors could bleed. Across the galaxy, whispers of rebellion began to grow louder. For Laura and her crew, the days spent waiting for rescue were long and somber. Conversations often turned to memories of the Titan and those who had perished aboard it. Yet amidst the sorrow, there was pride, a shared understanding that they had accomplished something extraordinary. Each member of the crew carried scars, both visible and invisible, but they also carried hope. One evening, as the survivors gathered in one of the larger pods, Laura addressed them. "We've lost so much," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. But we've gained something too, proof that we can stand against the Krylos. This isn't the end of the war, but it's a beginning. And when we return home, we'll keep fighting. For Ryan, for the Asterisk Titan Asterisk, and for everyone counting on us. Her words resonated deeply, drawing nods of agreement from the weary faces around her. The road ahead would be hard, and the cost of freedom was steep. But as they gazed out at the stars, they knew one thing for certain. Humanity wasn't finished yet. Not by a long shot. When the rescue ships finally arrived, the survivors of the Asterisk Titan Asterisk's crew were brought back to Earth as heroes. Their faces were weary, their bodies battered, but their spirits burned with a quiet determination that inspired everyone they met. News of their victory over the Asterisk Voidspire Asterisk had spread across humanity's remaining colonies, igniting a spark of hope in even the darkest corners of the galaxy. People lined the streets as the crew disembarked, cheering and waving flags, their voices rising in unison to celebrate the triumph. Laura Hayes stood at the forefront of the group, her uniform torn and stained, but her posture unwavering. She scanned the crowd, seeing not just joy but also resolve reflected in the eyes of those who had gathered. This wasn't just a celebration of survival. It was a declaration that humanity would no longer cower in fear. The destruction of the Asterisk Voidspire Asterisk had proven that the Krylos could be defeated, and now the galaxy was watching. Captain Daniel Reeves walked beside Laura, his steps slower than usual. The loss of the Asterisk Titan Asterisk, the ship he had commanded for centuries, weighed heavily on him. But even as he mourned its passing, he took comfort in knowing that it had gone out in a blaze of glory. "She served us well," he said quietly to Laura as they made their way through the throng of people. "Better than anyone could have asked." Megan Scott and Kyle Brooks followed close behind, both carrying the weight of what they had endured. Megan clutched her data pad tightly, the device holding the secrets of the experimental weapon that had turned the tide of battle. Scientists swarmed around her almost immediately, eager to study her findings and adapt them for future use. Kyle, meanwhile, found himself surrounded by soldiers seeking guidance. His leadership during the assault on the Asterisk Voidspire Asterisk had earned him respect, and many looked to him as a symbol of resilience. As days turned into weeks, preparations began for the next phase of the war. The fall of the Asterisk Voidspire Asterisk had weakened the Krylos significantly, but they were far from defeated. Surviving enemy forces regrouped, retreating deeper into their territory to lick their wounds. Humanity knew this was only a temporary reprieve, a chance to prepare for the battles yet to come. In quiet moments, Laura often thought about Ryan Mitchell and the others who had given their lives aboard the Asterisk Titan Asterisk. She visited a memorial erected in their honor, where names were engraved on sleek black plaques beneath a starry sky. Standing there, she whispered a silent promise. "We won't stop fighting. What you did will never be forgotten." The crew of the Asterisk Titan Asterisk became legends, their story told and retold in every corner of human space. Children played games pretending to pilot the ancient battleship, while engineers studied its design in hopes of building something similar. The sacrifices made aboard the Asterisk Titan Asterisk reminded everyone of the cost of freedom and the importance of unity. One evening, Laura joined Daniel, Megan, and Kyle on a hill overlooking the city. Lights twinkled below, a stark contrast to the darkness of space. They didn't speak much, content to simply sit together under the stars. Somewhere out there, the remnants of the Krylos fleet waited, plotting their next move. But humanity was ready, or at least more prepared than ever before. "We've taken one step forward," Laura said finally, breaking the silence. "But there are many more ahead of us." Daniel nodded, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "And we'll take them, one by one." Megan smiled faintly, clutching her datapad closer. "With what we've learned, we can keep pushing back. We're stronger now." Kyle leaned back, staring at the stars. "Stronger or not, we'll need every ounce of courage we can muster. But if we stick together, I think we can win." Laura glanced at each of them, feeling the surge of pride. They weren't just survivors. They were pioneers, warriors, and dreamers. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them head-on. For the first time in years, the future felt uncertain but hopeful. The fight wasn't over, but humanity had proven it could rise from the ashes. And so long as there were stars to guide them, they would keep moving forward.